Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. It's post-Thanksgiving. We're all full on Thanksgiving food. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, happy holidays. You still got stuff to be thankful for. I'm joined here, as usual, by my co-host with the most, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Post gobble gobble day to you, Miss
Well,
Flamingo.
gobble, 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 gobble to
Gobble
you.
gobble, motherfucker, as they
Oh,
said in
gosh.
Thanksgiving, that classic movie. Actually, you know what? I have a new appreciation with Thanksgiving because Jordan Downey went on to make a great segment of VHS. So, hey, kids, hard work pays off. But we're not alone on this special adventure episode. We are joined here by a returning guest. The last time you saw him was our 150th episode special we did, or was that
Wow.
156? I can't
I
remember. It was one of those specials. It was
It
our
was our
first.
Joker 2 live stream. Put it
And
that
we
way.
we needed to run it back because Joker 2 sucked. So we needed to bring him back on for a better movie. You may know him from our other previous episode too. We've had him before on, we talked about, I believe, Jordan Peele and Nope in 2022. So we've had you on a few times. It's James Shaw, aka I am James. Welcome back to the show, James.
Thank you very much for having me. And a little bit better than Joker, I guess. Well, I guess that's true. But yes, I'm excited to be here with
Think
you
it's
guys. It's always a good time, So yeah, let's dive in.
I
Yeah.
think it is better than Joker 2, I will say that. I was more entertained, but
Are you not that were you not entertained with Joker?
I was pleasantly entertained. Which
Shit.
oh, not Joker, Gladiator.
I got you.
You almost tricked me. You
Listen,
tricked me, you
Joker was a
fool.
masterpiece. We all know this. Said no
Alrighties.
one. All right. But yeah, no, this has been a, long time coming. Last episode we did, of course, was the episode we did about Joker. Was that show? Yeah, we talked about the first Gladiator film, and today we're going to be talking about Gladiator 2 and also going over some film news and what's coming up in the upcoming episodes. But with enough said, unless you have anything to add, Kristen, I think we should get right into the news, should we?
Nope, I'm ready to talk some good movie news. What about you, James? Are you ready to join us on the news?
Yeah, let's get it. With good news only though, right? So that's good.
Yes, of
Let's
course, it's only
get
good news.
let's get to it.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna hop in first with my piece of news, and that is Charlize Theron is set to join Christopher Nolan's next film at Universal. She joins the cast that already includes Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, and Lupita Nyong'o. Lots of Academy Award winning status here, I must say. The film will have an IMAX release set for July 17th of 2026. The date falls in line with a number of Nolan's films that had landed similar release dates in the past, most recently Oppenheimer. And Universal has no comment on the casting of Theron, but the log line is under wraps, with sources noting that the long line or descriptions of the film that have been published to the date are wrong. The movie is expected to start shooting in early 2025. So what do you all think of Charlize Theron joining Christopher Nolan's epic universe and filmography and his next big project?
I am excited. The cast alone has got me excited. I was not a huge fan of he did Oppenheimer, correct? Yes.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan, was not a huge fan of that movie. So that movie had a great cast too. So as of now I am excited, but I'm gonna hinder expectations until I know, what the film's about, and hopefully it's not as long and uninteresting to me like Oppenheimer. But
Damn,
great
fucking
cast. And
hot take over here.
I'm not sure who else is gonna be in it, but that's good enough. I mean, can I get a role too? Look, like everybody's getting a role in his
Everybody
next
can
film.
roll.
Yeah, I
Everybody
want a
can
role
roll.
like Oprah. You get a role. You get a role. Give
You
me a
get a
role.
roll.
That's
Give me the
actually the
role.
secret role Oprah's going to be the new Christopher Nolan movie. She's going to be like the villain or something, so maybe.
Probably is. But yeah, I'm excited, but hindering expectations. I got to see what the story is going to be about to raise my excitement meter either higher or lower.
All right, co-host with the mostest, Mac. Are you ready for Charlize Theron?
We'll see. I mean, with a Christopher Nolan movie, you're gonna get people that have already proven commodities. You got people that are young and up and coming. So, I mean, casting Tom Holland, he definitely, Tom Holland does have great talent. Besides Spider-Man, people be like, "Oh, he's just a Spider-Man." No, he does some good other roles as well. I like Cherry and the other movies that he has done. But we'll see how this works out. I think
Does
Charlize
that
Theron is
include
fine.
his performance in Chaos Walking and Uncharted?
Anyway, I'm curious to see what his role in Christopher Nolan new movie, because you know what, Nolan, I think with Nolan too, he is one of those directors where like he gets the best out of everyone. I mean, for God's sakes, he got like a great performance out of. Well, I like Robert Pattinson. I liked him in Tenet, and I think Tenet probably was a good film to show that John David Washington can do serious acting. I just wish people knew how to use him more effectively. Like, I don't want to count Amsterdam. Amsterdam never happened. But no, I'm excited to see what this is about, because I don't even know what this new film's about. Is he gonna do another type of biopic movie? Is just gonna be an original concept? Only time will tell.
I hope it's original concept because I really want something original after seeing, since I wasn't crazy about Tenet, like I didn't love it, but despite how really cool it is, I just hope it's an original concept where I know I can be mind blown. But I do want to say that this also brings up a reunion between Christopher Nolan and Hathaway since they previously worked together in Dark Knight Rises.
Remember, she said they weren't allowed to sit down, and he said that's bullshit.
Ah! Oh, James, I really want to ask you too. Did you enjoy
Uh, no. What console I think I saw it. That's when we had COVID going on. So I needed a movie so bad I flew to Vegas to see it. And
Oh wow.
that was when the audio was like so bad. I thought it was just like our theater because I couldn't music was so loud, and so I could understand what people were saying. I think the film at the time didn't really have a lot of dialogue or subtitles, so I missed like half what people were saying. And then I think the next time, I guess it's, oh, now the sound has been fixed. Like the movie's too long for me to sit through again to try to like put subtitles on, But I mean, it looked cool, but I was just confused because I can understand what they were saying, and the
Mhm.
important moments of dialogue, I couldn't follow it because, yeah, like I said, the whole film was just so loud and bad audio mixing. But yeah, maybe I'll watch it again in its segments, but I wasn't thrilled to watch it twice when it was like almost 3 hours, right? So look
Mhm.
cool, but definitely wasn't what it was one of his best. I think right now he's been 0 for 2 lately for me.
Okay.
That's why I hope this is an original idea, more Inception type than Tenet type. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, Mac, what's your piece of news?
All right, so my piece of news is, guys, he won't stop coming back. We get it. You want your cut of Suicide Squad, Mr. David Ayer. David Ayer recently in an interview revealed that his cut of the film that people have been saying release the Ayer cut, which hasn't really taken off like the Snyder cut, because I think nobody really gives a shit about the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. I'm not gonna be like, give me a tattoo of the Ayer cut. He recently said that they never showed um he never test screenings. They were never made for the original cut, and then the editing, which was famously edited down from what we got from the film, never even saw the light of day, so no one even knows what it was, except for the actors and the director. And there's hints that he still wants to do it. So guys, did you ever want to see David Ayer's original vision for Suicide Squad? Because if you go back to the original trailers, there is a lot of stuff that's cut, especially one of the most, I guess, what's the word? One of the most like kind of obvious cuts was how Joker survived the helicopter crash, especially like saw the trailer. He had like a scarring on his face, and he got in a fight with probably one of the aliens and stuff. Well, not aliens, the witch and Enchantress's goon. So we don't know how he survived that. There's a lot of stuff that was cut. Did you ever want to see the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad 2016?
At this point, I don't care anymore for him or his cut. I feel like a cut of that should have came out a while ago. Uh, but other than that, I
Yeah,
don't really
yeah,
know.
I agree. I did want to see it, but now I can care less. I think it's like it's 2016, right? It's like 3 or 4 years too late. So if you had it now, we already had a better Suicide Squad after that. So like, what will be the point of trying to get it out now? I wouldn't see the point of doing it. But yeah, back then, maybe 2017, sure, I was excited. Sure, we had nothing else. There's no other Suicide Squad to compare it to, right? But now we got the new one. Yeah, I don't care to see it. So it can
And
go. It
now
can,
the
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, sorry, no, finish your thought. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I'll just say that we can go to hell. So just like the first one, we go to hell. So
Oh, I was
cinema
gonna,
hell.
yeah. I was gonna say too, knowing now that like James Gunn is like the quintessential father now of like powering the DC you like forward, there's no point. Like, why do we need to go back in time? I feel like maybe if David Ayer and Warner Brothers really, really wanted to, as a 10th year anniversary, maybe do it, but there's no point at this point. I feel like it's not like a film I'm passionate to see like a different cut for. Mac, I know you would watch it though.
Fuck no. The
Really?
2021 Suicide Squad is so much better. It fixed
It
everything that was
is.
wrong with that movie. And like I'm so glad James Gunn's it. Because here's the thing. The Snyder Cut, that came from a place of like personal love because everything would happen with Zack Snyder's personal life and what happened to it. I agreed with that being released because it's just more of like A, Zack Snyder fans are kind of crazy, and B, Max had just HBO Max just launched. You needed something to get people in. Releasing that Snyder Cut, because let's just face it, anything better than the Whedon cut would have been better. I still have the personal belief that I feel like if the Snyder Cut was still, if nothing happened and we got that Snyder Cut, it would have not been well received because they were like, this is too long, this is too boring, too dark. It would have had the same problems that we had with Batman v Superman. But like to say like, yeah, this Suicide Squad cut, like the thing that made Suicide Squad 2016 so disappointing was just the trailers. The trailers are all like, yeah, this is gonna be this bombastic Guardians of the Galaxy type movie. It just blew up. It sucked. All we got from it was Harley Quinn, like Margot Robbie. She's the only one that's left in that movie because Will Smith said later. I mean, well, I guess Viola Davis says Amanda Waller. I guess that's a busing too, but everyone else dipped out from that movie. Like no one's left in that universe. They killed Joe Kinnaman off in the second Suicide Squad movie. Like there's no one left from that wreckage, and they only managed to salvage Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, who's a good Amanda Waller in
And
the
then
DCU.
and then Harley Quinn, of course, too.
Well, we don't even know that because but they're probably not gonna get Margot Robbie back. They're probably gonna just do a whole reset for that.
Yeah, probably. Who would you want then as Harley Quinn?
They're gonna get Sydney Sweeney.
I could see that, but she's so popular now.
That's
But
the thing, yeah. They're gonna get Sydney Sweeney and be like, "Look, it guys, we got her." Or they'll just say, "Hey, Lady Gaga, you want to use Harley Quinn in the main DC?" And I'll be like, "Hell no."
well, that would be interesting because then Sydney moves from Marvel, Sony to DC at Warner Bros. So, anyways, I have my last piece of news as my computer is moving so slowly. All right. I thought this was fun. This was a little while ago, more than a week ago, but did you all hear about the Glenn Powell lookalike contest?
What? No. What's it for?
Okay, so back on November 24th, there was a Glenn Powell lookalike contest in Austin, Texas. And the winner was a man named Maxwell Braunstein, who is a physician's assistant. His prize was a cameo in his next film. And you should see the guy. Oh my goodness, y'all. He looks like Glenn Powell. And the judges for this contest included his mother and his aunt. And now that the winner won the prize and he's going to be in the Glenn Powell movie, this brings up a topic which we talked about and a news topic specifically that this cameo is going to be featured in the Running Man movie with Edgar Wright. I mean, how cool is that? You get your very first cameo in a Edgar Wright film, plus the actor, the winner, gets to bring a parent or any other family member of their choice to join them. So I gotta ask you both, what do you think of these lookalike contests? Because we already had one for Timothée Chalamet, and we also had one for Jeremy Allen White. Oh, and I forgot to announce today that there was also a lookalike contest for Chris Evans. So what do you all think of these lookalike contests? And are they the new future now to give out as prizes for like future contests? Like, I don't know. What do you all think of these lookalike contests? And what do you think about this winner's walk-on role in a new Edgar Wright film?
I just want to know where's the Zendaya look-alike contest so I can go and be a smart spectator. You know what I mean? Just
The
that's
cameo.
not that's not care about. I'm great
The
for them.
Zendaya lookalike contest.
Correct. That I want to know where that is. So once they have that, I would like to go just like I said, just as a spectator. You know what I mean? Just to go
Or
show
be a
some
judge. I
support.
think you could be a
Or
judge now. You
or
have garnered enough social media attention, I feel like now, James, where you could say, that's my girl, you
yeah,
know?
or be a judge exactly. But for this, I didn't this first time I heard about this, but I get good for them. But honestly, I would take cash personally. Great to be in a movie, that's great. But I would take I wish it was a cash prize. That to me would be more important for me. But for them, that's good. I didn't know why they started doing these contests, but I think it is a good way though to get I guess new audiences maybe into a film, right? Because this guy's friends are probably, oh, definitely gonna go support him. So it's something unique. Um, and yeah, so is it just males? Have they done a female one yet, or it's just
I
males
don't
so
know if
far?
they've done a female one, but I do want to add that I know you said you would take the cash prize. The winner of the Glenn Powell contest did receive a check that says Glenn Powell 2.0, that says like where you put the money in for the check. It says some money, and in the amount of dollars, it says City of Admiration and Cowboy Hat in of a mountain of blank dollars.
Now
And
you need to give me
then
real money. The fuck is this shit? I'm not gonna take this chip check. You gotta give me a check for $1,000 for making me look like Glenn Powell, which is a blessing in disguise. But I'm not gonna take this joke check. You better write me some real money, and then we'll
Yeah,
talk.
and
and
the
give me
check,
the role.
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
both. Give me both.
and the check is signed by Glenn Powell and Brisket, his dog. So
Oh
Glenn
hell
Powell
no.
was in on this joke, and I love that. And
Hell-
I do see the photo. I'll have to send it to you both later. But the one guy in the photo in the back, like I guess they were runner ups. One of them looks like Kellen Lutz from Twilight, more than Glenn Powell. But I guess they got it pretty right on the Glenn Powell winner. I was trying to find a good picture of him, but I thought it was cute. I think it's a good way to bring the community together, and I can only imagine the results of like running into that man on the street and saying, "Hey, you look like Glenn Powell." I wonder how many times that man gets it a day. So,
I mean,
but it's
random,
good.
but I mean, if it works for, getting people to engage with stuff, I mean, I guess it's just whatever happened to just collecting box tops and sending that in? Have we gone away from that now? Like collecting box tops and bottle caps. You have to have a whole ass like look-alike contest. Like I don't know. It just seems kind
If
of a
if they on
lot.
social if they on social media, it didn't happen.
I guess.
That's where we are. So I think it's being on social media now. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
good for them. But like I said, I'm not interested unless it was Kristen Stewart lookalike. I'll definitely there. Okay, I would
Oh
be there in a
wow.
heartbeat. Kristen Stewart, that's my girl. But other than that, yeah, I'm not for Glenn Powell. Cool, good for them. But yeah, it's not something I would be like excited about. So I would just he should ask for money or Bitcoin and the role. That's what I would have done. But each their own.
Did you say Bitcoin?
Yeah,
Yeah, Bitcoin's working big right now.
yeah.
I wouldn't stick with it. Sorry, that's not my thing right now. I don't think there's so much controversy surrounding that. I would never collect Bitcoin right now.
It's not even just that. It's just good to have. Even if it's like every time it goes to like a low amount, that's the time to buy because after the controversy passes, it'll always get back up and you'll make money.
All right, Mac, what's your final piece of news?
Um, yeah, I hate this shit. If you talk during the movie theaters, you already know how I feel about this. If you talk during the movie theaters, I hate all of you. Like, don't talk to me. If you want to talk, low whisper something, that's fine. But if you're openly talking or doing anything that interrupts people's viewing of movies, you're an asshole. So recently, The Rock and Cynthia Erivo have said that people should sing in the movie theaters. When you're watching a musical, just belt it out with the lyrics. And this comes after the success of Wicked, Part 1 that have came out. It's making all the money. It's a musical to the Broadway musical, the same name. people are busting out in songs, and The Rock and Cynthia Erivo have said, you know what, just let it out and let it sing. So obviously there's some horror stories with this, because I can imagine this all stems from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I am an aficionado in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love that movie. There is a drive-in theaters near me in Mansfield, Connecticut. It's called Mansfield Drive-In. Every year they always have these Rocky Horror Picture Shows nights where you go.
Yeah, they
you
do
dance.
them a lot in my area too. Yeah, they're very popular.
With the Rocky Horror Picture Shows, it is encouraged for you to get up and sing and dance with the movie. Like, that's what it's called, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Ever since that movie, there have been movies that have tried to do this. One of the most infamous examples I can remember is the Oogie Loves Big Balloon Adventure back in like 2008. That cursed movie that I'm pretty sure we all like to forget. But I don't listen.
Nobody remembered that movie.
Yeah. I do. What do y'all think about people being able to sing during a musical in movies? Like, if y'all saw Cats, do you think your audience of one person, aka you, would get up and just start singing with the movie?
I did sing like quietly to myself when I went to go see the Eras horror movie. Like, I think it only matters unless the movie is like a sing-along, but if you're like quietly like whispering the words to yourself, you're like nobody can hear you, then fine. Or if you're like mouthing the words in your seat, then fine, but don't do it right next to me. Like, I don't want to hear it. You know? Like, I don't encourage it. Like, I don't. Because I come for the movie, for Wicked, like, let's say, I didn't see it yet. And that's why I'm waiting to see it. Because I don't want anybody to sing during it. You know? James, did you have any sing-along for your screening of Wicked?
Well, I'm going to surprise you guys with this, but I actually kind of agree that singing should be loud, but here's what I think they should do. I think they should make designated screenings. I know people are going to be upset. Well, why if the sing along version, whatever, is at 12 o'clock, and that's the only time I can go. Blah blah blah. I understand that, but. So yeah, there's no bigger person than me. I like people to be quiet, but when it comes to say movies for kids, I understand that kids are probably going to be on iPads and make noise. So in my mind, like, I know this. I'm not target audience for this. So when it comes to Wicked, I was at a press screening, so no one was singing, but I would have been okay with people singing a little bit, because that's the movie, right? As long as you're not doing it super loud, but if there's people who want to get up and they're singing, in my mind, like, this is a musical. People have a big attachment to this, so I'm partially okay with that. But I think I think the solution would be to have, maybe, I don't know, figure out in your theater what each theater would be different, but just have like certain times, like, this is a version that is, we encourage singing, because they have like screenings that are for kids, right? So obviously everyone in there has a kid, so you're fine with it being loud and noisy. So if you were to buy a ticket for that, you already know that this showing is primarily for parents. So you already go in knowing that. So I think that would be the best solution. But I actually didn't hate that they kind of said this, which is a shocker. But I just think you gotta, given the movie, I think you gotta know what you're going into, and need to know the audience, right? So I was fine if I was screaming when people are singing. To me, to be like, okay, that means the movie is really good, right? These people really like this movie. So for me, I would have gave it an even better rating had I have seen people singing. That means they had a great attachment to this, and that's what I want to see. Because myself, I get to attach from a lot of movies. For me, it's a job, so I don't ever sing. I don't really do anything. I don't show emotion. I just kind of watch the movie. But for other people, this could be something that's really big for them, and I'm like, okay, cool. That means it's doing its job, right? It's resonating with this person. That means the movie's really good. I'm here to just review it. I don't need, singing will maybe enhance it for me. Maybe their singing might be better. I don't know. But yeah, I think do it, but have designated show times that are for that. I think would be the best solution. So.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, guys, that's going to conclude our news. So if you want to send us any news that you want us to talk about, send it over to our Instagram page or give us an email, which will be linked in the description below. But Mac, are you ready to be entertained? And James, are you ready to be entertained by our discussion of Gladiator 2?
Let's do it!
All right, let's talk about the historically accurate Gladiator 2.
Rage. entire Roman armies.
Gladiator 2 14 พฤศจิกายนนี้
All right, so the topic for the day. Last episode, we talked about the 2000 film itself, Gladiator, the film for dads by dads. And today, 24 years later, we are talking about the sequel, which some say may have not, been necessary, but hey, what do we know? So we're talking about Gladiator 2. It's now out in theaters, starring Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal. Paul Mescal, Jesus Christ, there's too many Pauls in this movie. Joseph Quinn, Fred Hitchcock, Leo Raj, Derek Jacobi, Connie Nielsen, and Denzel Washington. It takes place 16 years after the first Gladiator film and follows Lucius versus I'm not going to be good at it. Lucius, played by Paul Mescal, who's the son of Maximus, as he tries to navigate his journey throughout the Rome Colosseum and becoming the slave of Macrinus, played by Denzel Washington. So, a lot of hype was for this movie. A lot of fans loved the first one. Obviously, Russell Crowe isn't in this one because he's dead in the first film. So, there's that. Yeah. But, we're blessed with the second film. Everyone's wondering what the hell you're going to do for this. And, the consensus is in. A necessary sequel, but still a good film, according to people. Was I entertained with this movie? Sort of, yeah. I liked it. But that's just my thoughts to start. How about, we'll start with James. James, what did you think about Gladiator 2?
Thought it was probably 16 years too late, to be honest. I don't think it captured any of the magic that the first one had, and we definitely didn't need this film. Was I entertained? Not really. It just was, played by numbers, right? I didn't. The first one had so much heart, so I felt connected to the characters here. I don't think really got a chance to really be connected with anything except the CGI. But yeah, was not really a huge fan of Gladiator 2. I think it came out 10 years earlier. Maybe I would have been more excited, but I didn't really care to see this movie.
You mean you didn't love the CGI'd Rhino in this film? You didn't connect with him?
I did not. And my biggest issue is with this movie, so we'll talk about that in a second. But yes.
All right, Meg, I want to hear your
No,
take.
Kristen, what about you? What did you think about this movie before me?
Okay, I would have to say I really enjoyed most of it. Some more parts than others. I think the best fight in the film, like action battle sequence, whatever you want to call it. I really loved the shark fight thing. It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous, but I really was entertained by it. I really was. I wasn't crazy about the Rhino one. And I think the film does struggle getting me invested with everything because I did like it as the film progresses. Like, it upsets everything. I thought the opening was really good. But then after, Paul Mescal loses his, girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call her, that's when it kind of lost me as he was trying to figure out his footing. And I think that's where the character was also trying to figure out where his journey was going, I think. But it didn't really hook me as much as kind of like what the first one did. Like this one is missing a piece, and I'm still kind of figuring it out because it's a week later since I've seen it. But there's even to this day now, I think there's something missing that ultimately made me feel connected to this story. But I did like the performances a lot. I love Denzel though. As ridiculous as his character was, I loved him. I absolutely ate his character up. I just loved him. I loved him. But Mac, go into it.
About what? What part of the film should I start? Should I start with the fact that this film, I do agree with James, is did we really need a Gladiator 2? I kind of wish we got the original script that was the where Maximus was gonna come back and kill Jesus Christ and be immortal. That would have been a better sequel. That would have been great. But it's just more I think this may have been a panic button for Ridley Scott because he realized that his last couple movies have not done well. So, you need a movie that's gonna draw people in. So it's hey, Gladiator 2. Okay, but hey, look at these big actors. We got Pedro Pascal, we got Connie Nielsen, she's back, Paul Mescal and everything, and then Denzel Washington. Let me say this. The theater I was in was eating up Denzel's performance. And I realized, and I turned to my dad, this is just Denzel Washington just doing Denzel Washington. And you know
It
what?
is.
Fuck it. Why not? He was just like, I don't want to say he was overacting, but he kind of was, but it worked. And I
Yes.
know that they're probably going to be like, well, he's not. I think he brought the most energy. I think Paul Mescal did a good job as well because to me, he kind of felt like a mini version of Russell Crowe, Maximus, I thought. But I think besides that, I think there was a lot of problems with this movie, especially the pacing because
The
this
pacing is
this
not
this
great.
movie clocks in at 2 hours and 28 minutes, but at times I felt like this is almost a 3 hour movie because there's
Yeah.
so much like things that could be cut, like the games and everything. Like there's subplots that really are dropped. I think the twins were kind of just pale comparisons of Joaquin's character from the first movie.
I mean, they're
Right.
never as iconic as Joaquin, but I do think they do a good job at like filling in his footsteps on like the placement with that Joaquin left. But I did like Joseph Quinn, even with Fred Hetchlinger. I forgot how you say his last name, but he was fine. I thought he was good. He kind of worried me a little bit because I don't remember if we talked about this last time with Shane, but he replaced Barry Keoghan, who was supposed to be in the
Oh,
film.
Keegan.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, continue, Mac. Sorry.
But I just think it's just, I will say this is a film where it's like, I think on its own, it's fine. Like, it's really good. But I think as a sequel to Gladiator, you're just like, I mean, in a way, it feels like it's telling kind of the same story, just with like none
Right.
of the characters we really wanted to. Because, like, I was telling Chris this before the show. I think that they're like, hey, here's Russell Crowe, because they mentioned him a lot. There's like, remember Maximus? People who saw this movie 20 years ago, remember him, how cool he was. Well, it's like, because what did y'all think about Paul Mescal as Lucius? What do you think about his character and his performance? I'll start with James.
I thought he did fine. Like you said, it just felt like the same story, or he felt like similar to Russell Crowe's character. He didn't really add nothing to this. Like, had this not been called Gladiator, you could just place it with any Roman type movie. It would be the same movie, right? And
Mhm.
um, and what I really wanted from his character, or I think what was missing for me was when he they finally put on his dad's armor. I thought it'd be a bigger moment.
Dead
It was not
ass.
like it wasn't a big moment. I'm like, wow, you talk about Maximus this whole damn movie. He found out, and it was just it was quick realization that that was his father, right, or his real identity, right? Oh, this is my mom. First, you 2 minutes ago you said leave me alone. Now you love her, and I think the whole I think that's probably what was missing. Kristen was just like that whole connection. Like, you mentioned so much about the first movie, but when it comes to finally connect the pieces, you just kind of shoehorned it, and yet all that time the movie's so long, right? So what you're spending all this time talking about Maximus, and you need to do this. So it wasn't his. So I think he did a good job, kind of given the circumstances. I just think ultimately the script sort of kind of failed him because he's trying to build to that. I'm building that moment, like, oh man, I can't wait to see when he realizes that's his dad and he puts on the armor. It should be a big moment. I just felt like, really, this is what you've been 2 hours of our time for this moment, and it's not what I expected it to be. So he did a good job, but I think the script ultimately kind of let him down. Um,
Yeah. I do want to bring up another thing. I think Paul did a really good job with the action sequences.
yeah,
But while Paul and Pedro were doing sword training, one of the twins that Fred was playing, he got monkey training for the I kid you not, he said this in an interview. He had monkey training for the monkey that's his pet in the film.
Yeah, that
I
was a
kid you not.
weird choice. I didn't get that. Like,
It
it was
was just
just
a silly random thing. Like, I
that's
don't know
something
if
like
that
Marlon
was
Brando would have done. He's like, I need a monkey as my companion throughout the movie. Like, that's some shit I expect him to pull, but
that's
it's
like the
like,
cat and honestly and the Godfather, you know, as
which,
a
Ridley Scott did say Gladiator 2 is kind of comparative to Godfather part two, because he does say he plans a third movie, which at a point I'm like, why? Like, I think Gladiator, honestly, if you wanted to make a sequel to Gladiator, like, it could work. But I think with it being, 20 years plus, it's the fact of like who's gonna really see this? Is it just people who grew up on the first one? They're old enough to go
Well, people
themselves.
are seeing it, and
Well, I mean,
people
yeah, it's a name brand movie.
Yeah. I do think though, because we didn't bring this up yet, is Pedro Pascal. I think he outperforms a little bit. He outperforms Paul. I think Pedro has become such a household name now that he's like this bona fide movie star now. Like whether you watch him like in The Mandalorian now or in The Last of Us, I think he's become so recognizable and he's really talented too. Like he has done like so many versatile roles at this point. Like I thought Pedro was really good. I wish though
Underutilized, in my opinion.
because I was just gonna say I wish they didn't kill his character off. Yes, it does give like, more power to whatchamacallit, Paul's character, but I wish he was used a little bit more in the I do love their battle together, like that one scene.
Well,
that they had.
Pedro Pascal's too expensive, so he can't afford that shit.
No, he's like, I got Star Wars to worry about. I gotta go film the Mandalorian movie.
What are you talking about? He's
Sorry,
got Fantastic
Ridley.
Four.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Screw
He
the
got
Mandalorian.
that. Well, now, yeah. But anyways, James, what did you think of Pedro?
Yeah, like you, Pedro's coming. I think a fan favorite of mine too. And yeah, I thought he was did a great job. But yeah, underutilized. But then yeah, just Max said, you realize he's probably too expensive for the whole duration of the film. So you got to pay him. You got to pay Denzel. So I would love to have seen more of him. So if they do another one, they should maybe do maybe a side story. I'd rather they focus on his character instead
Oh,
of
that would be
Lucius's character.
interesting.
That's why, yeah, I think that I'll be more interested in seeing that or do a series or something like that. But I think they should do exploration of his character and his role. I think that was one of the strong points of the movie, was just his presence in there. That's my only character I can kind of like, okay, well, besides Denzel. But I was like, yes, this guy, this is a great role. And I think, yeah, if they did a spinoff or a TV show, I'll be more interested in seeing that than any other next Gladiator with Lucius. Not seeing that Paul Mescal didn't do a good job. I just think Pedro is just a better actor. His role, although it was smaller, was very effective.
Right. What did you think of the direction? I think we should talk about the direction that Ridley's decided to take with this film. Did you like his direction for this film, or how does it compare to the other films he's directed, like at least taking lead? What did you all think?
Go ahead, Mac.
I mean, it was a Ridley Scott movie, great cinematography, and then the rest of the film is kind of like iffy on its own because, I think what you got to realize that Ridley Scott is a great cinematographer. Like, he has a good
Right.
eye for shots. Because even like some of his weakest movies, you're like, damn, that's a good shot. There's a lot of shots in this film. I'm like, damn, it really does set a grandiose stage. But it was just a standard Ridley Scott movie. It just was elevated with good performances. Like, when I say that this is better than Napoleon, I mean, yeah, by Country Mile. When I say it's better than House of Gucci, yeah. When I say it's better than The Last Duel, no, because I think Last Duel was good on its own. But I think, it was just standard, hey, great cinematography. Everything else. And then considering too, I just looked it up that the writer of this film didn't do the first movie, and he did like All the Money in the World, which is a good movie, but I think lacking that original folk vision, if he brought back the original writers from the first film, it would have make more sense. But it's a good cinematography. It looked pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, Tristan.
Yeah. No, I wasn't gonna add anything. I was just saying, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the cinematography is great. Like I said, I love the, scene where, water is filled up for the naval battle. It was like perfectly shot. He does know how to do the uh, you know, good shots. But yeah, I think I'm not sure. Yeah, the writing, it just felt like a typical really Scott movie, right? And I guess I should have kind of know that going in. I don't know why I thought it would be, something different. But yeah, I mean, it was fine for what it was in terms of like, is this one of his best movies? I would say no. Probably say it's middle tier in my opinion.
Mhm.
And then I said not really a huge like really Scott fan, like anyways. Not the older stuff, yeah, but none of the newer stuff. Not really a huge fan of really Scott's. It's all the same stuff, right? I like a little bit different stuff from directors. I don't like the same type of stuff, you know. At least I know each director has their own kind of footprint, but at least do a little bit different, right? Don't just make the same type of film every single time, because you know there's a lot of options now for movies, you know. And the average fan's not gonna go to these movies. It's the same. I'll just wait till it comes out on, you know, streaming or whatever. Since the release window's so short now for things, you know.
Yeah.
So
Did you enjoy whatchamacallit, James? The Last Duel?
I'm not a huge like history movie fan, to be honest. I did enjoy that one, but I typically don't watch a lot of these historical or war movies. Those are my least favorite genre. But yeah, I thought the last one actually was good. I actually was thoroughly more entertained with that one than I was with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree on that. Now my final question as we wrap up, I do want to ask, I've been seeing discussions online, and I said this in my review. This is getting talked about, it being nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Do you agree that it should be nominated for Best Picture or any other awards?
It's not going to get
Well,
nominated. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
yeah,
James.
yes, yeah. So smaller awards, yes, but definitely not Best Picture. I don't. I think there's too many good movies yet to come out, and a couple that have already been out that I would put like this is. I wouldn't even think to put this near Best Picture at all. Like, it wouldn't even be on my bingo card to put this on, you know, Best Picture. But yeah, as far as like costumes, I'm sure we'll get that. But definitely Best Picture, I think is out of the question, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
it just seems like they'll nominate it for some stuff, but just like we talked about it like in an earlier episode, like this year, when you're like, oh, they're probably gonna. I said it's probably gonna be an Oscar bait film because Ridley Scott's gonna be like, yeah, I want to, because they delayed it because it's supposed to come out in the summer, but it came out now, so that way they can push for that Oscar.
Get that awards push.
Yeah, it'll probably be, you know, cinematography and like James said, costume and everything. It's not gonna be Best Picture. Like it's not as groundbreaking. It's not as groundbreaking as the first one, and like if there's a performance that gets nominated, it'll probably be Denzel for Best Supporting Actor because it's, you know, Denzel. But nothing, it won't sweep any awards because there's so many other good films, and I'm thinking Dune's probably gonna have it locked down by next year for everything, like for like the nominated stuff. But I don't think Gladiator 2 is gonna be Best Picture. Come on, guys.
The only thing I could see it like nominating for in a Best Picture category is like when the Golden Globes do like that specialty category, like box office film, like, you know how they did it this past year with Barbie, and they gave it to Barbie. I think that's what they'll put it in for, but we can discuss that, Mac, another time. But I do think it'll be recognized there. I think it has more shots of being nominated at Golden Globes than it does at Oscars. So, but that's what I think. But is there anything else you want to add to the film as we wrap up?
Category though, I don't really like that because it just kind of seems like an easy cop out to be like, hey, we listen to you fans. Like, remember when Army of the Dead won an Oscar for fan vote in 2021?
Right.
It was just, I don't think it won an official Oscar. I think it was just a Twitter like recognition to get like social commentary on it, I think, or like not commentary, but social recognition, so people would tune in for the Oscars.
I hope that there isn't a third movie with this, because I think that Gladiator is fine with 2
They're
movies.
setting up a third film.
It's
from what I'm seeing, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a third film at this point, based on the reception that we had with this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a new film by like 2026 or like 2027.
But I will say the film helped the box office because this and Wicked really helped them with Thanksgiving.
That and Moana.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess there's one thing, because I never doubted Gladiator making like big money at the box office. It was gonna make money. I just thought like the reception of it, like how were people reacting. And I will add one more thing. Did y'all hear about, what do you think about the whole historical accuracy that people are complaining with this movie? Especially one of the big things I heard is that Denzel's character Macronus in real life was not black, but people were mad about that. Do you think that historical accuracy shouldn't really matter, or learning from Ridley Scott's history that historical accuracy just really isn't a big priority for him?
Yeah, I'm glad we brought this up. This is what I was gonna bring up. This is one of the reasons why I don't like historical movies. I'm not a stickler, but I remember one movie, someone was wearing a type of clothes that was even created at that time. So it stands out to me. So this film, obviously, my biggest issue with the film are the sharks. Okay. Um, I understand. I get, I know water was in the costume. That I get. There's no way these sharks could have been in there. I mean, I don't know. These sharks could have been in there, and the point they weren't even necessary. Like, I get it, add extra effects to it, but if you get shot the arrow in the heart, you're dying. You don't need the shark. You don't need the sharks there. I'll let the rhinos pass. I'll let the monkeys pass, but the sharks. Uh, no, I can't get it. I did knock a few points off just for the sharks alone. No one could answer me. How would it been possible for them to have not one shark? They had like what, 5 or 6 sharks in there, and
Yeah.
no point in doing that. You don't got to be so say with Denzel's character. I don't care if you change people's skin color. That doesn't matter to me, right? I mean, long as the character is still represented the same way, it could be purple, green, doesn't matter. When you add things that were not physically there at the time, like sharks, then I got a problem.
You draw the
Yeah,
line of sharks.
yeah, I draw a line to sharks. I mean, I just don't understand how it could have been possible, and no one's gave me a logical answer how the sharks could be there. So if you guys can answer that
Yeah,
for me, I will issue the movie a public apology.
yeah, I agree. For this film, and as someone who's really like into the full film universe and knowing how Ridley Scott is, I wasn't going to be like nitpicking their historical accuracies. I was just looking for a decently good time. The shark thing is so stupid, even though I really did enjoy it. Um, but I wasn't really concerned about it for this film because I didn't take this film as seriously, like as maybe Ridley would. But I just see it as like one of those stupid popcorn movies. Like I feel like I'm gonna take Wicked more seriously than Gladiator 2, you know? In
You
terms of
should.
that, like
Wicked's
Wicked
Wicked,
like has
Wicked's good.
definitely has like a sophistication to it than Gladiator does.
Right.
Like Gladiator is just stupid fun time at the movies, like how you can just enjoy it for how it is, like Twisters or like whatever it might be, like another like major blockbuster film. Like I'm not looking to see this as like cinema. Like this is like Gladiators, so it's like, all right, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to pay attention to the historical accuracies for this film. Like if it was a film that I really like cared about, like knowing it was going to be exact book from the timeline of like, this is Lincoln, like what Steven Spielberg did, or it's like, whatever, like a real historical film, then that's when I care. Like this one, I didn't really like care for, like it's just like how I felt, at least I feel like that. But Mac, I'm curious to know what you think since you were the one who
So
brought
you're
it up.
telling me y'all didn't like just the floating sharks in the Coliseum, not even questioning how they got them in the Coliseum?
That's what I said.
Yeah,
You
it's something though. They pull it out of the water.
didn't like the CGI rhino, how the rhino was just, you didn't like the baboons and how Paul Mescal bit one and made it his bitch. You didn't like that scene? You
That
didn't.
one, all right. As someone was like, all right, I'll let the shark pass, but for Paul Mescal to bite a baboon, I was like, all right, we gotta draw a line here. Like that's crazy. Like, was it Paul or was it
It
Paul
was
or
Paul.
Pedro?
No, it was Paul.
Paul.
It
I
was
was like,
Paul,
all
yeah.
right, that's a little too far. All right, let's take that down a notch here, my guy. Do you imagine the thing that he had to bite on for the CGI effects team to be like, all right, Paul, you gotta bite down on this. Pretend
Tennis
like
ball.
it's chicken. And then the effects team had to edit that in the film, and I'm like, oh god.
It is funny, James, you mentioned the sharks because that has been like the biggest thing I've seen. So I watch history buffs on YouTube because I am a big history guy. I love history films and war movies.
Yeah,
And he
Right.
pretty much just said, like, fuck this movie. This is so historically inaccurate. This movie is bullshit. And it's like, it's one of those movies where it's like, because let's face it, we're not going to sit here and pretend that the first Gladiator movie was even historically accurate as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. That's why I
Right.
didn't take it
Right.
as seriously for
Right.
this.
And it's
Like,
like
if
these,
you know, then you know that this
these
is
are the
not a
same.
historically accurate film.
These are the same people who poke holes in 300 for being historically inaccurate. I mean, come the fuck on. It was based on a comic book by fucking Frank Miller. So, I mean,
Right.
there's so many problems with that. But I think, like, for this and knowing Ridley Scott, because I mean, come on, last year when he responded to people saying it's historically accurate in the bully, he said, "Shut up. It's not for you." I'm like, okay. I think Ridley Scott's just
Right.
like, if it looks cool, we're going to do it because,
Right.
you know, it's just why not? So it's just.
I-
This movie's just, hey, just forget about it and just watch it and don't ask any questions. Don't
I
worry
feel like,
about it. It's
though,
fine.
I will say, as someone, since he did Napoleon, I felt like that's when the history should be right for that. For this, no, like I don't care as long, like, because we saw what he did with the first one and how that's like how it was, and that's how he sees the, this franchise that he is building up, or whatever Paramount wants him to build it up to be now. Like, it's going to be historically inaccurate for this to drive up hype, but for Napoleon, that should have been historically accurate,
Nah, it'll be
Right.
fine.
Right, and I just troll. Obviously, if I loved the movie, I would have mentioned the sharks, right? But since I didn't like it, I need to make something, like we talk about something. Obviously, if I loved it, yeah, I wouldn't have really. If I love the movie, I want to look past a lot of stuff, right? Because obviously,
Mhm.
no movie's perfect. When I don't like the
No.
movie, then all I think about as I'm watching it is like, okay, this is in my mind, just like, okay, I'm not interested in the story. Oh, the sharks are here. This is not, we don't need these sharks. This is pointless. But the movie was great. But okay, yeah, the rest of the movie was so great. I don't even mind the sharks. But since we're not there, I knew the sharks would be a conversation starter. So I brought it up. Obviously, the fact that back to the first one, I knew it was historically accurate. They didn't have no CGI animals that were that, because with the sharks, there's no biological way you can do it, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken, where they are is freshwater and sharks are saltwater. So
Yep.
Mhm.
that to me, it is too much to be believable. Like, where do you get all the salt from for these sharks? But if it's just like,
They take a salt shaker and put it in
yeah,
the water.
Close
yeah,
enough.
that to me, I was like, that just, I know it's like you got to turn your mind off, but there's so many like flaws. There's so many steps that it would take to get the sharks there. That's why I was like, that's just a rhino, whatever. Rhino's a land animal. It's not easy. You can easily make a right. I can bypass that, but the sharks, from a biological and chemistry standpoint, I just didn't understand. I just don't understand how you could do it, right? But yeah, I just troll. Like I said, I don't really. I knew it did look cool. Like I said, it did look cool, but yeah, if I loved it, I wouldn't have cared and wouldn't have brought it up. So
Yeah. Alrighties. What should we give the film in terms of grading scale?
I don't even know because I haven't reviewed it on its own yet. I think I was probably gonna maybe do like a B plus.
I'm giving it a B minus because of its pacing issues and some of the performances, even though I do really love how ridiculous and just over the top Denzel is. I was entertained, so I'm giving it a B minus. I don't have
I'll
it
go
in
C
me to give.
minus. Yeah,
I didn't
go
have it
C
in me.
minus.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have it in me to give it a C. So, and that's
Oh, I
how I
have no
feel.
problem.
Like, and that's how I feel. I'm gonna just say it right now. I don't know how I feel. I'm still figuring out my scale for Moana because, like, I feel like I want to give that like a B, like around a B minus too. But I'm still like, oh, there's still stuff I'm thinking about. Did you like
Give it a
Moana?
C. Give Moana a C. Go ahead and do it.
Oh, alrighties, guys. But that's gonna wrap up our discussion on Gladiator 2. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or were you mixed on it? Let us know in the comments down below. And Matt, should we wrap up this episode?
Yeah, so a lot of movies come out lately, and why are you not seeing Sonic 2 when it comes out against Mufasa? I mean, that's a heavyweight battle,
Sonic
guys.
3.
Oh, Sonic 3, I'm sorry. Whoops, not Sonic 2. I think it's 2022 still. You're gonna get Sonic 3 versus Mufasa. Who's winning that weekend, guys? Is it gonna be Mufasa or
It's
Sonic 3?
probably gonna be Mufasa. I feel like Disney's
No,
gonna
it's
just
not.
claim that
No,
throne.
I'm going Sonic.
Sonic's
I think
kicking Mufasa's ass.
I think so too. Honestly, I'm tired of these. The last Lion King I didn't like. I think this is all it
Nobody
is to
likes the
sell
last
tickets.
Lion King. If you did, then we have to talk.
This movie is to sell new album. Who I'm not sure who the singer is, whatever. There's to sell the new album, new merchandise. I think Sonic 3 should. If people are smart, they go see Sonic 3 first, and
Hmm.
then try if you could try to go see the Fawcett, but make sure you go see Sonic 3 first.
Please
I
God,
think that
yes.
yeah, I hope Sonic. I hope you make the right decision and go see Sonic 3.
I feel
James,
like
are you?
there's. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go
James, are
ahead.
you a Sonic fan?
I'm actually not a Sonic fan, but the films have been good, and I think it's just because the first one before it first came out, that bad image of Sonic, they done right. Like
I
this is
wish we
the
got
first time
that.
that customer, or I'm sorry, I guess customer backlash actually worked in its favor.
Customer backlash. I like
Because
that.
like Sonic actually it looked
Good.
good. I went to the first film on a Saturday early screen. I said, let me go see. I have nothing else to do, and I said, you know what? This actually pretty good. Like, I'm not a huge. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan. I mean, I played the games, but as a film, this is pretty good. And the second one, I was like, you're introducing other characters, so Sonic has been the biggest surprise for me. I never thought I would enjoy it. So yeah, I'm all for Sonic 3. I think it's been so far it's been good. Now you got Shadow,
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves. I mean, yeah,
Oh, that looks awesome though.
Do you
That's the
know?
reason why I would watch it. I feel like 'cause
Do
I
you
love
know
my
Shadow's backstory?
a little bit, yeah,
You
a
know
little
what
bit.
happened. You know what happens, right? With the little girl that was his friend.
Yes. So
There was a sign that one of the theater says, "Please do not cheer when a little girl gets shot." People, you hate the internet. And like people are like, "Yo, when this little girl gets shot in Sonic, they're like, yo, that is wild. We can't do
yeah,
that."
yeah.
I'm like, we're going to fucking hell. So if you may be confused, people, because this is, I'm not gonna. It's pretty much in the video games. So we've been playing Sonic video games.
I'll have to ask my husband about it because I don't
Ba-
even know what you're talking about.
Basically, the origin story
The
for
shadow.
Shadow, the reason why he's so mad is because this girl that he cared about and really like was like his first friend, she got shot and killed by guards, and like that's the whole meaning. She
Oh,
got shot and
Right.
killed, so like there's gonna be a child getting shot in Sonic 3, and it was like, oh shit, that's gonna be awesome.
what if
But
she just like dies of like an illness or something?
no,
They
she
might do
gets
that.
shot. No, because
Do
in the
you think
trailer,
they're gonna do that in the film or no?
in the
They
trailer,
won't show it,
they won't show it,
but
but in the trailer, it shows that she's been killed by like the guards. So
Oh, okay. Like, see, I wouldn't know because I didn't really play Sonic. I just knew of Sonic. Like, he was like one of like the side characters to play like in one of those Super Mario Brother parties. That's why that I used to
you
play.
uncultured swine. But nah, I'm fucking with you. I think that the Sonic movies, can believe that the Sonic movies are able to get like this cast? Like you get Jim Carrey out of
They're
retirement, you
fun.
got Idris Elba, and you got Keanu Reeves, who has turned down roles from Marvel. Is like, yeah, I'll do Sonic as Shadow. I'm like, what? And the new trailer is like, the more you talk, the more I want to punch you harder in the face. I'm like, okay.
Anyways, let's talk about what we're gonna do next time, Mac.
We're gonna be talking about Sonic. That's what the fuck we're gonna be talking
No,
about.
we're not because that's not gonna come
Yes.
out in time.
Yeah, but no, we're probably going to be we're going to be talking about the new Kansas City movies because these love stories, about Travis Kelce and Taylor
It's
Swift,
a
they just
love
taken everywhere,
story, baby.
So
You're gonna
Lifetime and
say
Hallmark are like,
yes.
well, Hallmark said we're going to do ours first, and Lifetime's like, we'll copy you, we'll do ours quicker, and we're going to be talking about both of them. We watched the Lifetime one, and that was a journey.
Yeah, Mac and I were texting throughout that. We'll tell you all about it next time as you tune in. But we're also going to be, hopefully, if the Christmas gods are good to us, they will give us some time to watch Nosferatu as we wrap that up as our final film of the year before we give our end of the year countdown to our favorite films and worst films of the year. So
I'm hoping for Nosferatu I can get that popcorn bucket because
that looks so awesome.
I was not able to get the Gladiator popcorn bucket. The only
What about the
popcorn bucket.
Sonic popcorn bucket? You can eat out of his head.
No, I already got Venom for that. But like I think with the popcorn bucket, the only popcorn bucket available when it's still Gladiator was red one, and I didn't want a red one bucket. No one's like, man, I really got to get the red one sleigh popcorn bucket. I gotta eat that. Hey, Dwayne. I gotta give Dwayne money. He's broke.
And anyways, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, James, for joining us today on our special Thanksgiving Gladiator episode.
It's post Thanksgiving.
Yes, post. Yeah.
anytime, always a pleasure chatting movies with you guys. So yeah, thank you for always inviting me.
Yeah, shout out to the
You're always
Seahawks too. They
welcome.
beat the Jets as well today too. I see James is wearing this.
No, the Jets beat themselves. We didn't beat the Jets. So yeah, I'm not. My team's not doing too well. We're in first place by default, so I don't take pride. So my Niner fans at work, I don't say nothing to them because I don't take pride in our
Someone
division
who
being
lives
trash.
as someone who is in the state of the Jets, yeah, I will agree to that. The Jets absolutely stink.
And the Giants, you share a team because technically the Giants play in East Rutherford, and then the Jets are in New York, which is weird. But they're both New York teams. I ain't gonna get in that dichotomy, but
I'll take the Giants over any day over the Jets.
no. Hey, shout out to sports though. That's your only sports talk on this podcast you're gonna get. But James, where can the good folks find you at? By the way,
Find me on Instagram. James Shaw, nice and simple. And yeah, my reviews are usually just in my car, super high energy, and
Super
yeah,
chill, love them.
super high energy and uncensored. So yeah,
Super
Love it.
chill that they're in your car. I can only imagine the person next to you as they're carrying their coffee, and then I hear oh, and then they just look over the car next to you and just go.
It's like that
"You
man's yelling
okay?"
again. Just go past it.
Yeah. Well, look, I got my windows tinted so no one can see. But yeah, it is kind of awkward during the daytime. You can see to the front, like what's this guy doing? But no, it's part
What's
of
this
the
man yelling about Kristen Stewart for?
yelling, praising, ma'am.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Starbucks
make
is
sure I don't
Starbucks is
accept
like
any insult on
Star
Kristen Stewart around here.
Starbucks is like, oh, he's out there again. He's making his videos. It's okay. Just go past the car. He's very excited. Don't worry about it. But anyway, thank you all for listening to another episode. You have great holidays. If we don't hear from you, well, you'll hear from us before Christmas. I've been Mac. This has been Kristen. This has been our special guest, James. And you've been listening to the M&K Productions Podcast. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.